Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'll be making a teamwork obby game on Roblox. What this means is that it's an obby game, but you need a friend to play it with. Before we begin, I'm excited to tell you guys that I have launched a new Patreon page, so if you want to support me, the link is down in the description. I'll publish all the tutorial and game files there for you guys to download. Without further ado, let's begin. Alright guys, so I'm gonna try to speedrun this so that we can finish this video pretty quick, but at the same time explain everything I'm doing. So let's start by making a basic platform. So just start with a part, make this a tad bit bigger, and let me just bring in our avatar to compare the sizes. So the rig builder, and then let's go with the block avatar. So now I can compare the size. Okay, so this is the basic platform, and now I have to make this base plate something like red or blue. Maybe make it blue and make it like some sort of water which you cannot touch and you'll die. So let me just click on the base plate, remove the texture, and then make it something like this. I'm not sure about the color, but for now let's keep it like this, and let's give it a texture. Okay, so the sky looks pretty boring. I don't like this sky, so let me just change that as well. I'm just gonna go to the toolbox and just search simulator sky, then we'll get a pretty decent one. Okay, let's keep it as that, and I'm going to set the cast shadows off, and this I'm going to change the color to something like gray. Now let's keep it colorful. Let's give it like a pink. So on second thoughts, I'm going to make a new platform like this. I think I'm just going to duplicate. Oops. I'm gonna delete the texture on this base plate and duplicate this and make it wider. So this platform is going to be the floor, which the player should not be touching. And let's make that like a blue, like that. Let's go back here, images, and water. I'm going to copy the asset ID of this and come back here, and inside this will let texture work. Let's put it as a texture, and we have to make it a bit bigger, something like that. And the color, gonna make it a bit more bluish, and that looks way better. Okay, so now I have to add kind of like a base plate texture to this. So to do that, I might have to wait, hold on, I think I can find it here. Base plate. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go all the way back until we have our base plate, so I can copy. Okay, so now let's come back here and I paste the base plate texture. Okay, so this is gonna be our small little map. I'm gonna put this bad boy in the corner like this, and this is where the players are gonna start. And I'm gonna make sure that everything is anchored, and the can collide is true. Okay, so this is gonna be like a small level. So this is gonna be like level 1. So I haven't still worked on the lobby. We're gonna start with level 1 and then let's create the lobby. So now let's make this buttons and everything like those invincible blocks. So I'm going to start with a basic door button. So here let's duplicate this. Oops. And then let's make like a door over here. Okay. Something like this. I don't think players can go over this. Yeah, it's big enough. And we are going to make something like this on the opposite angle. And now we have to just put the buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make uh, some buttons. So I'm going to insert a part, and this is going to be a button. So I'm going to make the size 5 by 5, so 5 1 5, and the color has to be the color for this this wall as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a button here like this, and then duplicate it, push it in the other side, and then I am going to make sure it's in the workspace, and I'm going to select both of the buttons and this wall and make I think I'm gonna make them a group, and I'm gonna rename this to anything something like wall. And now let's just rename everything. So button 1 and button 2, and then I am going to put a color value, color 3 value, or we could even go with the brick color value, but I want to go with the color 3 value and let's give it red. So now this part I'm going to make the transparency 0.5 and try to make it red to see if it look good. Okay, I forgot that this has to be connected. On a second note, I am going to delete that and just make this bigger. So now that we have that, let me just kind of change this as well to make it not itch. Okay, so now we just have to script it. I'm going to make the value, okay, the value color is red. Now I could just make this any color, it doesn't matter because the script is gonna change it to red. So let me just say color, and now let's put a script inside this. I'm gonna start scripting. So let's first get the color value, script dot parent dot color, and button 1 script dot parent dot button 1 button 2 script dot parent dot button 2. Whoops, button 2. So I'm going to use the touched event. So button 1 touched, connect to a function touch, and we are going to be calling this Okay, we'll make a variable called touched and put it false. And here we're gonna see if a character touched it. To do that, we can say humanoid. We can look for the humanoid. So touch dot parent find first child of class humanoid, or our touch dot parent find first child of class humanoid, and then we are going to be checking if it's humanoid. Yes, if it's a humanoid, then if humanoid and not touched, not touched, then touched, touched equals true. And we are gonna open the wall up, right? So let me rename the wall to wall. So right now it's a part. Actually, let me just rename it to something like a wall part. Oops. Okay, so wall part. So wall part script.parent wall part, and wall part can collide equals to false, and wall part background, no, it's transparency to 0.8, something like that. And now let's go down here and say button 1 touch ended, connect to a function, and we're going to say the same thing, touch, and pretty much copy the same thing. And instead of this, we're going to say if touched, then okay, we need to do one more thing. Since there will be multiple players who could be touching the button, we should say players and do something like this. And then actually let's just call it touch count 0. Here we're gonna say touch count plus equals to 1, touch count minus 1, and we're gonna say if touch count is smaller than 1, then we're going to say touched equals to false, and wall part and can collide equals to true, wall part the transparency equals to 0. I think this will do the trick. We're going to test it right now. Now let me set the colors as well. So okay, let's get the color. Okay, we got the color value. So for ivy in pairs wall of script up parent get children, do if we is a base part, then we dot brick color. No, wait, we can just say we dot color equals to color dot value. This should work. And one way to find out is let's first start running the game to see if it sets the colors to everything. Okay, it does now. Let me just play the game. Come back here and just say play here. Okay, one thing I noticed is it's kind of glitchy when we walk on this. So I think the best way to fix that is adding a hitbox instead. Or I think if we set the can collide to false on each of these buttons, it might fix that as well. So let me just can collide to false. Whoops. Let me come here and then to play here. Okay, I just made one more mistake, which is it should be anchored. So let me just anchor it, and now let's try it. Okay. Okay, it still has the same issue. If I move to like the edge of it, but as you can see, it works. So when a player steps on it, the other player should walk through it and go step on the other one. There's no way of me testing it, but there is a quick way to test it. We can just use this guy here, and then we could just walk through it, and then go back to the server. He can't go through it, but if I just walk over here, it should work only after I update the script with it. So here, button ended. Let's do the same thing. To make it quicker, what I'm going to do instead is say local buttons, button 1, button 2, and then I'm gonna cut this and say for I button in pairs buttons 2. Just say that, and then okay, this should work. Let me just take a look, but before that, let me just drag our start point. Okay, so as you can see, it works. But the really annoying part is that blink. I want to kind of fix it. So there's a way to fix it. It's just to set a different hitbox. So we can do that. I don't know if it'll take too long to be doing all those, and I wanted to even give like a good feeling to the buttons. So what I'm gonna do is actually take my time and do this. So inside the wall there's the buttons. What I'm gonna do is group each button. So let me just start with the first one, and I am going to okay, and then I'm going to put like a border to it. So just duplicate, and then while holding control just drag from each side and just put it a bit down like this, and make it like a dark black. I know it's like a dark blue or something like that, like a charcoal. And let me just make it a smooth plastic. And one more thing I'm gonna do is, if any part of this is medium stone gray, the brick color, then it's gonna change its color to whatever color we assign here. But like for this, if it's black or anything else, then it's going to remain the same like that. That's easy to script, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. So now this is how it is, and we're going to duplicate once more and just increase it like this, and this is going to be transparent and can collide off and anchored. Okay, so this is going to be called hitbox, and this is going to be button 1. Both of this can be called anything. Just gonna rename it to something like what's the name property? Oh yeah, part or anything like that. I don't care about that. Okay, so now that we have the button, what I'm gonna do is just Okay, go inside the script. Okay, I'll delete the other button and just duplicate this and send it to the other side. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is go back to the script. Okay, so we have to script this whole thing again. I mean, not again, but we have to do one thing, which is I'm gonna say hitbox. Change this to hitboxes. What hitbox is whenever player touches that hitbox, it's gonna run this. So okay, that's good. Now for the color value, we're gonna say if is a base part and if we dot brick color dot name equals to medium stone get children. Okay, this might work. Okay, it works. Now let me actually go in the game and see if it works. So I'm just gonna walk. Okay, now it's way better. As you can see, it's much more cleaner and it works as intended. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now that we did that, let's make it a tad bit better by adding some animations to this, like a tween animation. These are just side missions, but I think it will give the game a much better look to it. So I'm gonna rename this to top and this to top 2 because I'm going to animate that. Oops, not that. This. I'm going to animate this and I'm technically going to tween it to go a bit down like that. Okay, so let's do that. That's we could use tween service to do this, but okay, so I'm gonna say if touch count is smaller than 2, then we do this. So if it's bigger than 2, then return. I'm going to do this. So what this technique means is if a player is already touching and then another player touches it, it doesn't have to again do the same thing because it already did that with the previous player. So just return back if it's already 2 players. And now let's do the tweening animation. Tween, we have button dot top tween. I'm not familiar with the tweening in parts. I'm familiar with the tween service one, but not with this. So let me just take a look quick. Are we about to tween it? Oh well, I don't know, guys. So just use the tween service. So, don't know if I have it. Okay. So local tween service, game get service, tween service, and let's come back here. Tween service create T pos. That's the default position of the top part. So I'm just gonna say button dot top dot position, and we're gonna say button dot top and tween info dot new. I'm gonna give it like a 0.5, and the property table is technically the target position of the tween, so it's gonna be position dpos minus width 3 dot new. Let's take a look. Point 1. Okay, so 0.1. Let me just Okay, so it's gonna go 0.1 down from the vector value, and this should give us the result we're looking forward for, and then say play. And now I'm just gonna copy the same thing, come back here and say I'm gonna just set it back to the default position. Okay, let me just play the game now. I'm not gonna go inside the game, I'm just gonna use, oops, I messed up. Let me just go inside the game actually. Well, now let's see if it's working. Okay, so the first thing I forgot to do is the default position should not be inside it, in fact outside, so that's one mistake I did. And the next thing is I'm going to bring it a bit more on to the top and make it much more appealing. And now let's play it. Okay, so let me just walk over it. As you can see, it's tweening, but we can't really feel it. Oops, because we have to give it a bigger swing to it. So I'm just say 0.2, and let's play it now. Guys, it's already been nearly 30 minutes. I'll try to keep this under an hour and divide it into different parts, but now let's just walk over it. Okay, now I think it's way better. And let's even put an animation to the thing, to the wall. So let's come back here to in service. Let's just copy, paste, put button wall part, and okay, transparency to 0.8, and let's just that. Actually, yeah, let's just remove that for now and copy the same thing down here and say transparency to 0. And okay, and I think we have to set the speed to maybe like a 0.2 instead, because I don't want it to take too long. Okay, so now let me just test it. Okay, that's way better. As you can see, it's much more fun to play around with. And one more thing I just want to test before everything is what happens if another player walks over it too. So why can't I bring the move tool? Okay, so that's a problem. If two players get on one, it's a problem. So let me see why. If touch count is bigger, whoops, my bad. If humanoid, and okay, maybe this will fix that problem. Okay, so we do have a problem still, which is if another player interferes, then it's creating problems. Wait, let me just walk off it and okay. Okay guys, I think I might have overdid it a bit. We don't really have to count the touch counts. What we can really do is see if one person touched it, which means the another person doesn't have to touch it. So this wasn't needed. The touch count was not needed at all. So what I'm gonna do is just actually we might need the touch count. I'm confused a bit here, guys. Hold on. Uh so guys, I found a solution. Well, there's another way to do this. The thing with this is when the player stops touching it, the touch count does some miscalculations. It goes over the limit. It goes to like the -40 and stuff like that. That's why there's an issue. But I think I found a fix, which is I'm gonna use a module called the zone module. I'm not sure. Yeah, the zone module. What I can do with this is pretty much oops, it's the wrong module, my bad. But that module is going to um, help me with setting the zone for something like wait, let me just show how it is done so that you can see. So, as always, I'll leave everything in the description, all the tools I use, and you can check out my Patreon if you want all these files, which I just did. It's only $5, so it's a good gamble. So yeah, now let me just open this zone, and I know it looks pretty complicated to see, but it's easy to implement. So I'm just gonna implement the zone so that way it's easier. So replicate storage and zone require zone, and now let me just set up the zone. So the way we do that is hold on. Okay, first we need to create a container. So let's come over here, and I'm just gonna say zone touch zone. To touch zone down here, and then hitbox, which is gonna be button dot hitbox. And what we can do with this now is touch zone dot player entered connect to a function player, and we can pretty much just put this in that, and there's a player left or something like that. I'm not sure about that. Let me just take a look here. Player. So I just went and checked, and the left function is touch zone. I mean the event is player exited. It's something like that. Just yeah, play exited and connect to a function. It's also going to be the player, and here we could call this. So we don't need any of this, any of this, any of this, and this, and not the touch count. Nope. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna delete all the touch count and anything related to that, and I think there's already a touched bool, so what I'm gonna do is say it's true. I'm gonna say if touched, if touched, if it's already been touched, then return end. If not, it's true, and touch will be false. And here we're gonna say if not touched, then return end. Okay, so guys, now we'll test it and see if it's working. I'm really sorry if it's confusing, but yeah. Okay, so now it works, and let me go here. Okay, so now it's not breaking the script when another player touches it, and we could use the help of the. Okay, so now that we are using that module, we cannot actually use this dummy. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's working, guys. And I've been recording for over 40 minutes, so nearly 40 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is quickly wrap this up and do a part 2 of it. As always, you can find all of this in my Patreon. And now that we are done this part, let's also add a few more before finishing. So I wanna also add like a bridge. So let's do the bridge part as well. So let me just close all the scripts for that, and I'm gonna so I'm gonna make a new platform here. To this place, and now let's start creating a new one. But before that, let me even make this flow, and then let's make it a depth. Let's make it a depth point. For now, I'm just gonna kill the player off, but in the future, we're not gonna kill it. We're just gonna teleport the player. Okay, so let's say locum. Now script apparent touched function. If C apparent find first child humanoid. No, of class humanoid. I'll see the apparent find first child of class humanoid. Then oops. Okay, let me just. This is a quick script, guys. It's just to kill the player off. So let's the health. Let's just say 0. Then that should pretty much work. Okay, now I'm just gonna fall, and it killed me. So that works. And now let's keep going. Let's make the bridge. For the bridge, I'm going to first let me just lock the flow so it's not gonna annoy me. Oops, lock, and let's lock it. Okay, so now let's insert a part, and this part is gonna be a bridge. So let me just I'm going to do something like this. Duplicate from here, make it turn like this. Let me just bring the rig here so we can see, and then duplicate again. Okay, actually, let me just bring it all the way to the corner. Okay, now that we have done that, we are going to be selecting all of that, grouping it, and this I'm going to call it bridge. And inside that, we're going to do the same thing, put a color value. I am going to make it a blue this time, and we have to script this now. For that, we need buttons too. So again, I'm going to copy from the wall now. So button 1 and button 2. So let's put in the bridge. Oops. Well, okay. Okay, so to make it easy, I'm gonna put the buttons in the workspace for now, so I can just quickly drag them and set them locations. fourth wall. Okay. And then whoopsies. Okay. Now let's just do the quick script, but now let me also just uh, put the buttons in the bridge and put a script. Or we could like, oh yeah, let's just make a new script. Who cares? No, actually, no. Let's go to wall and copy the script, put in bridge, but it's gonna be a different sort of script. Actually, when you think about it, it's not like really a difference. I'm going to select the bridge parts and we're gonna union and we could actually just put that union, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to duplicate it inside it because I'm gonna duplicate that union and call it bridge parts, something like that. And now we have to just remake the script a bit, just change a few stuff here and there. So the first thing is it's not gonna just be a singular wall part. Instead of wall part, come here. I'm gonna loop through, pass, bridge. Back up here, delete the wall part. Okay, so what we're gonna do is here we're gonna say script dot parent dot bridge parts dot get children do, and just put this inside and call this we. But it's gonna be true, and we are going to put that here too, and this touched on top here, and call this we as well, and it's gonna be visible, so instead of 0.8 it's gonna be 0, and okay, so the touch part is done. Now when we exit it, we have to do pretty much the same. So let me just copy this and paste it here. Let's see what it's gonna be. False. And okay, we're gonna delete this, and yeah, that's it for the bridge part. Now let me just go up here and do the color part, which is just gonna be script apparent bridge parts. Oh guys, actually this should be outside. I don't even know why I did that. Okay, and medium, if it's medium stone gray, then it's gonna do that. Okay. There is one outside, my bad. Again, my bad guys. Okay, so bridge parts. I'm gonna also do this and then remove the bridge parts, in case we have to change the color outside that group. And okay, so this should work, hopefully. We're gonna see if it works. So let me just drag this to this side and play. Okay guys, I forgot to do one more thing. Just anchor this bad boy, and yeah, do that, and for the buttons, make sure we change the color as well. So I'm just gonna copy this, paste, and then call this button. Okay, so now let's just see if it works. Well, I forgot to do one more thing, which is make it transparent. So let me just do that. We just enter 0 and come out of it. Without transparency 1, and if it's a base part, are we okay? That works. I just have to say use part color, and yeah, now let me just run it to see if it works. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the game. Cool, but when you come off, okay, we just have to do one more thing. I'm making stupid mistake, guys. Just let it slide. But here we're gonna set the transparency to 1 and can collide to false. And yeah, I think we're ready to go with the first part of the series. We're done. Maybe there'll be part 2 tomorrow, but now let me just go over it. And okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, now let me just go wait and send out test dummy. Oh wait, okay. Alright, guys, so okay, it's done. Hope you enjoy this video. It's been nearly 50 minutes just to complete these small parts, and so I might have to make more parts to this series, but we finished off 2 levels to the game, and now we'll just put a lobby and make more levels to it. And I might have to design some levels. If you guys have any idea of any levels, please let me know. But anyways, see you guys in the next one. Peace.